Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Man, crypto is pumping, so I am doing good, doing very well. And I'm wondering, guys, are you happy with crypto pumps, or do you think that lower prices are better? I really think it depends on how much crypto you have and whether or not your goal is to accumulate or you kind of feel as if you're done already. But let me know down below, are you happy that crypto has pumped again and Bitcoin is above 50K, or you don't care, you only care about maybe like one coin? Having said that, go follow me on Twitter too. I definitely think it is worth it because, well, I post a couple of things on here which might be worth your time. I also try to retweet things which are important, like for example, this article right here, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Then, Cardano price prediction, ADA bulls need to take a breather before a 100% upswing to $2.08. I've talked about the ADA price a couple of times before, and you guys all know the channel here is mostly based upon news and things I find rather than the real price or price predictions, mostly because I don't really believe in price predictions too much. Yet, this type of stuff has a lot to do, in my opinion, with crypto news and crypto advancements, because what I've kind of noticed is Cardano is not necessarily overpriced, but it has gained a ridiculous amount in the short amount of time. If you just check right now, Cardano is in the third position in terms of market cap, and if you look at the gains here, yeah, BNB is a little bit better in terms of gains over the 30-day. But it's ridiculously high still, right? And over the 1 year, it is ridiculously high in comparison to most of these other crypto. Meaning, well, there's quite a logical explanation as to why Cardano right now is pumping just a little bit less. Even if you check out the weekly here, it's just pumped so much. And then together with the fact that the 1st of March here was what a lot of people were excited for, since that happened inside of the way and it didn't dump, I'm extremely bullish on Cardano longer term. Well, that's a logical explanation for why the price is not going to pump in the near future as much as some of these other coins, because they got to catch up and Cardano's got to cool down a little bit, as most people who wanted to have the coin already bought in the last couple of weeks, especially last week. Then Tim Draper believes Netflix could be the next big firm to buy Bitcoin. You know who it might be is Netflix. I think co-CEO Reed Hastings is a very innovative guy and has a lot of creative thinking, and so I think that might be the next big one to fall. Google could do something, but I think Google and Facebook and Apple are seeing if they can't create a currency that is centralized that's theirs, and Amazon. So, in my opinion, this is the same situation like a couple of others have said where, places like Apple or Amazon would only be interested in creating their own currency, not necessarily adapting something else. But he believes that Netflix, who really doesn't have that much benefit for their own currency, could be adapting it. Logically speaking, they have a subscription service, and whatever they receive payments in, it doesn't really matter too much for them because they could just transfer it over to fiat almost instantly if they wanted to. So I definitely think that it could be in the near future. During the interview, Draper said he won't be surprised if Bitcoin market cap grows by 100-folds from here. The current currency holdings in fiat are about $100 trillion, and Bitcoin's market cap is just reaching $1 trillion now. There's no reason it can't go up 100-fold. On that same note, I just saw a little bit of an Unstoppable Domains thing here. I actually checked it out, and Unstoppable Domains, which I personally have a couple of these of, is actually selling premium domain NFTs now. So they're going for some crazy NFTs or crypto domains like Walkin.crypto, Rugby.crypto, Sportwin. You can see the prices are immense, very much insane. But those are not the ones that I'm really too much interested in. I just bought myself a couple of domain names, like for example, not a one I have, but let's go for things like investors, right? .crypto or .zil. These are a little bit more expensive, but you see these types of names. I'm just thinking, hey, eventually they might be able to be sold for a nice little buck, so I'm just buying a couple here and there. You guys all see that NFTs are the new big thing, right? People are talking about it left and right. I thought, hey, I got to get myself involved. So about 24 domains, a couple of more expensive ones, a couple of cheap ones, but yeah, that's just a little bit of a side story. No promotion. You don't have to buy this. I don't really care. I'm just saying that I did, and that a lot of people are talking about this right now in the news, and Tim Draper also had an episode with them, I believe. Then, again, I guess I just wanted to show you guys the price, maybe. Not too sure. Bitcoin and XRP. I actually want to kind of shift the story now a little bit more towards XRP. Primarily that I actually think that the XRP prices of this point is still undervalued, and I tell people that quite often, yet people don't really listen to to what I have to say in that regard because they'll just have their own opinion. But in my opinion, Bitcoin just kind of reached another relatively important point, the 0.382 Fibonacci extension level, or also the previous resistance basically from the 17th of February, which is right around this $52.6 thousand mark. We just got there, as you can obviously see, and bounced back down almost instantly. It's not exactly the Fibonacci level, but hey, it's definitely quite close to it, and it's right around this point, which you can see here at the 17th of February. Point being, yeah, we saw a bounce from there. However, XRP also bounced after, I'm not going to say it's a really important point, but there is a couple of things to kind of say for that, as it's been hit a couple of times. That little zone right here, that little area is definitely something you can consider to be an important one as well. It's something which we've hit quite a couple of times here in the past. You know, literally this area. Let's just put it like that. Let's see. I'm just checking here on the side. This area is something we've really hit quite often before, and thus there's something to say for the fact that this is an important one. Point being, though, XRP, in my opinion, hasn't really performed as well as Bitcoin has done. This is the 4 hour, this is the 1 hour. Let's compare it directly. XRP really hasn't done as perfectly as Bitcoin has done, and from that perspective, it might actually be that this coin is still undervalued. Now, why is that the case? Well, it's because they have a lawsuit going on for themselves, yet the whole lawsuit ordeal is actually not a safeguard for Ethereum, for Bitcoin, for anything like that, yet people are valuing those coins like crazy. For example, Ethereum saw a pretty big pump right now and is actually quite alike to Bitcoin. If you just check those two charts, they look quite similar in raw price. They look really, really very similar even. The only thing that's a little bit different is Bitcoin had a little bit bigger of a pump. It's a little bit different, but you guys see the resemblance, right? With XRP, it's really quite significantly different than everything that's happened here. It's just a pretty huge peak here, pretty huge downfall, and another huge peak. With Bitcoin, it's basically just continuous bullishness, and with XRP, it's mostly just a sideways with one below the channel, basically. And what I'm trying to say with that one is, well, if you consider the fact that Ethereum, for example, is also not safe from any lawsuits, it's just right now a little bit safe, and even Bitcoin is not completely safe just quite yet in the US or anywhere around the world, basically. They can still be haunted, and there's a lot of people also against it. It's kind of interesting to me how people are really judging XRP so hard. Like, how can people not understand that if XRP goes down or bad because of the lawsuit, that a lot of these cryptos will fall and that a lot of bad stuff is going to happen to the crypto space? It's just something you should really understand, in my opinion, that even though XRP, I'm not going to call it the standard because it's going to be the only one cryptocurrency alive. No, I'm not saying that. I am saying, however, that, well, if XRP goes down with the lawsuit, a lot of these cryptos will fall, especially some coins like XLM, definitely going to go down. Ethereum is most likely next on the chopping block. I definitely don't think the SEC is going to let them live like this. I think they're going to make it a little bit more difficult, and so forth and so on. A lot of things are going to be cracked down. But even Bitcoin is just going to fall if XRP takes a fall, right? That's really what I predict. So I don't really understand why people value it so little and why people don't buy it more. So in my opinion, it's still a little bit of an undervalued thing. We had a perfect bounce twice on the XRP chart. We've seen that before. So yeah, I'm also pretty excited about the process, but I think it's all good. Then a couple of articles were talking about it. I don't really like to talk about articles talking about the price. Sounds kind of strange, but it's the way it is. I just think they never really have anything important to say. Ripple price forecast, XRP draws closer to a 30% downswing amid deteriorating technicals. You think so? You think it's deteriorating? I guess because you can draw a lower triangle than before. That's still a negative thing? I'm going to say no. It's just following Bitcoin as of this point, which is good though. The correlation with Bitcoin is a nice one because generally Bitcoin is considered to be in an uptrend and XRP considered to be in a sideways / downtrend still. It's interesting, but yes, it's the way it is. So yeah, if Bitcoin goes up and the XRP correlation is pretty high, well, that's a positive thing because that means XRP price is going to go up. Dependable on what you want to happen, because it could also be that you want XRP at 10 cents to actually buy more. A lot of people have that same energy as well. However, I also see on Twitter people saying, man, we've been holding for 3+ years. We just want to see it move like the other currencies. I definitely get that. A Bitcoin might hit $100,000 or $1 million, but it does not owe anything to Cryptomaniacs by Peter Brandt. You see something pretty interesting? This guy is slowly changing his mind. Whether it be from 50,000, 100,000, or 1 million, the greed of Cryptomaniacs will eventually be their demise, which basically is him playing the card pretty open, saying, yeah, Bitcoin definitely can do some good. He's also said it here, right there, and here and there. He just keeps changing his mind a little bit by, in my opinion, just adjusting it where he always comes out as somebody who's liked by a lot of people. In his statements, for example, he's first of all said that Bitcoin is crap, but then other times he says, well, I understand why people buy it. And then in others he says gold is the real thing, and others he's saying, this, that. He's just always doing this stuff to get himself a lot of attention, potentially a lot of money from it. I'm not quite sure, but it's working, all right? I'm just saying be careful of guys like this, as they're not trying to tell you the truth. They're trying to tell you whatever works to get attention. That's the way I see it. That nice picture. Then Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary suggests Bitcoin's market cap could reach a whopping $20 trillion. $100,000 per Bitcoin doesn't seem too crazy to Mr. Wonderful anymore now that he owns the top crypto. I like that. So, yeah. Once he bought it, he's like, you know what? 100,000 doesn't seem crazy. No, of course it doesn't, huh? Of course it doesn't. Then 17% of the Bitcoin supply hasn't even moved for over 7 years. A huge chunk of Bitcoin supply hasn't moved in a long time. These coins will either be lost, forgotten, or waiting to be sold. We don't know, right? We know a lot of coins are stashed in places which they can never be retrieved from, but a lot of these other coins, we don't know exactly what is happening to them. According to Glassnode, hold waves 3.3 million Bitcoin, or about 18% of the circulating supply, hasn't been moved for over 7 years, which is mind-bogglingly long. That you have these freaking hands of steel is pretty cool in my opinion, right? At least, yeah, I think it's pretty cool that people are actually able to do that. It's crazy. Then Unknown Whale moves $342 million worth of Bitcoin. In my opinion, the interesting part there is, mostly how they're sending so much Bitcoin around, or so many of the huge transactions, and we never found out who it is. So I was earlier talking about these transactions not meaning much, and I still agree with that opinion from before. But however, whenever I check it now, I'm like, well, what are they doing it for though? Like, why is this happening? Is it some big company sending it to another big company? Is it like, for example, Grayscale doing this? Or is it really somebody else? Is it just a whale? Is it just somebody who had 7,000 Bitcoin for years now? Or what happens exactly there? I'm not sure, and I don't think I'll ever find out. But I do find it really, really interesting how it works. That you could just send a lot of money like that and everybody knows about it, but nobody's going to know who it is. Only that person and a couple people. Like, some people ask me, Dusty, is crypto really private? Well, it depends, of course, on what blockchain we're talking about. Monero has some extra features than Bitcoin blockchain does. But, even though people might know your wallet and how much it's transacting, they might not know who you are, right? So from that perspective, it is pseudo-private or pseudo-anonymous. It's actually the word they use for it. As well, you can see however much is transacted, and you can see the amount of money that's in an address, but you can't find out who the owner of it is. And that's sometimes so peculiar, the way they thought about this, and how it's private, but it's kind of not. It's just interesting to me. Same thing goes for XRP and whatever, though. They're basically a little bit the same. Then I just shared this article over on Twitter. IRS says cryptocurrency purchases in USD not subject to tax. So I'm going to quickly tell you guys all to go check this little article out for yourself and read through it, because I'm not giving you financial advice, I'm not giving you legal advice, and I'm not sure how this stuff all works. I just saw it and I thought, hey, maybe it's something you should read into, because that might be very interesting, right? That might be something you should really consider at least. So a link is not going to be down below, but it is over on Twitter. So if you follow me on there, you most likely have already seen it. I think I shared it. I must have, right? Oh yeah, there we go. I shared it over there. So just go check it out. It's on my Twitter. And also, guys, make sure you press the like button. Why not? Like, what do you have to lose? It helps with the YouTube algorithm, so that's why I ask it. Bitcoin is technology, but gold is dead. Mark Cuban tells Peter Schiff. Schiff looks increasingly isolated in his Bitcoin hatings as former skeptic Cuban tells him to move on from gold, which is, again, funny. Mark Cuban used to be against crypto. Now he is involved and he's very happy with it. He makes a lot of money with it as well, I reckon. And he's told Peter Schiff that gold is the end, which is just drama. Not sure exactly why this stuff is going on, but yeah, whatever, right? Whatever. Let these guys do their thing. I honestly don't care too much. Let them be, and let them do whatever they want. Side note, guys, I've been using Newscrypto, the website, a little bit here and there. This is, by the way, once more, no advertisement. Some people seem to think that is just me talking from my own, just for fun. So I've been using it a little bit, and I've been talking to the team here and there just to ask what they've been up to and what they've been doing. And I like it. I like the platform. I like what they're building. Mostly also because it's quite transparent, you know? With a lot of these projects I work with or see or use, you'll never see who owns it or, you know, who the founders are or whatever. You know, you don't find out any of that stuff. They just have the full team here on display. That stuff I like. It's a lot harder to do some shady stuff if all your faces are out there. You might always say like, oh, I'm just an employee, yada, yada, yada. But they're there. You can see them. Here's a little bit of I wanted to say a Vitalik lookalike, but that's not really the case. But yeah, so I like them a lot. Again, just something I wanted to quickly mention. I might leave a link down below. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm also not trying to say you should buy the coin or anything like that. Just a platform. I've started to like it. It's pretty cool. They also have an app. Go check it out. I think a link will be down below. Maybe not. Maybe though. We'll see. See you guys again in another crypto video, and enjoy your day, everybody.